Hello there, to brand new video guys. Today I am presenting you my first mapping video. Today's scenario is going to be what if NATO collapsed. Now this scenario won't be very realistic, kind of, but not really. But it will definitely be an interesting scenario. Before we start though, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and turn those notifications on. Also, for my Twitter, the link will be down below in the description. If you do all those things, that is highly appreciated. But without further ado, let's start. So here we have NATO. This is how NATO looks in modern day right now, but it will collapse. Alright, so now NATO is gone. They collapsed. Now how they collapse, I'm gonna leave that question for you to decide. But who will be really happy because of that? Well, Mr. Russia, Vladimir Putin, he will be very pleased to know that NATO does not exist. And now the war in Ukraine is still happening in this scenario. So Mr. Vlad, he now wants to wrap up this war very quickly. And also, Ukraine is now not receiving any support from the West, no weapons, no nothing. And the invasion of Ukraine, oh wow, that is at 1,000, we want it at 10. The invasion of Ukraine looks something like this. So all of this, something like this, all of that is Russia. I don't know why the ocean is getting colored in. That's pretty frustrating, but we will get around that. Alright, so just don't look at the ocean, I mean the Black Sea being red, but Belarus, an ally of Russia, joins the war, and now they ramp up the invasion. Russia invades from the north, they enter from the north. Belarus also sends all their military into Ukraine, and Russian forces also advance from Belarus. They make quick advance as Russia has conscripted just a couple of million men, nothing too serious. They meet up with the Dnipro River, which is right there, take over all of this area, and then they will try to circle Kyiv, which is like right here. If you saw that, I don't know. And they encircle Kyiv and they take Kyiv, and yeah, Ukraine is pretty much screwed. They take over the coast. The ocean is still getting colored in. I mean, Black Sea. Why did I call the ocean again? I don't know. But overall, you can see that with NATO not existing, Ukraine just gets killed. But now, let's look at the peace treaty of this war. So, the peace treaty looks like this. Russia just straight up annexes all Ukraine, and Belarus also unites with Russia, so now all this is Russia. And I apologize for using the dots of the old borders. I'm kind of new to this program, so I don't quite know everything about it yet. And I also apologize if you hear my keyboard and mouse very loudly. That's just how it's got to be. But yeah, maybe these dots are good to be there, because now you kind of have an idea of how it looked before. But let's talk more about what Russia does. Russia actually does have an alliance in real life already, which is the CSTO, which contains of Russia, Belarus, which is already Russia right now, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. But now they will expand their sphere of influence, as they will force Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan to join. And now they'll invade 2 more countries, and those countries, maybe you've already guessed what they are. That is Georgia and Moldova. Yes, Georgia and Moldova. I don't know how much those countries are going to do, but we will see. So, Russian invasion of 2 countries. Alright, and now Russia already has Abkhazia and South Ossetia in Georgia. I don't know which one is which one. I don't care. So, Russian forces advance into Georgia, and yeah, they just obliterate Georgia. Georgia is gone, and Moldova is also gone, and the Black Sea is still getting colored in red. I don't know why, but boom, these 2 countries are completely gone and obliterated off the face of the earth. So let's look at the peace treaty. Okay, so this is how the peace treaty looks. We have Russia completely annexing Moldova. They completely annexed Georgia, and pretty much do the same thing as they did with Belarus, and they do the same thing that they did with Belarus with Armenia. Yeah, they just unite with Armenia, although they kind of really forced them into uniting with them. So, you know, just some Russian stuff. But now, let's go over to Europe. Europe is scared. Oh, and I forgot Kaliningrad is supposed to be colored in red. And I also forgot to tell you that this is part 1. There will be a part 2 to the series. So there will be part 1 and part 2. This is part 1. But anyway, Eastern Europe is very scared. So what do? Poland and Lithuania, they will form the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. So the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is now back. And they are not letting Russia take stuff to Kaliningrad, so that makes Russia really mad, but they're not going to do anything about that yet. Now, we have some people joining the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, actually, which will be Latvia and Estonia. So, Latvia and Estonia have now joined the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and are part of it. And now the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth decides to create an alliance which will be called the Anti-Russian Expansion Alliance, or the Anti-Russian Alliance, more like that. And the countries that join this alliance are Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Czechia, and Bulgaria. Those are the countries that will join right now. So, yeah, Russia can't really expand into Europe anymore. They can into Finland, but I don't think they would want to do that. And also, another interesting thing that happens is that we have Czechoslovakia reforming. So, we now have Czechoslovakia back in Europe. But now that we are already in Europe, something very interesting will happen in this area. Yeah, this area likes to do very interesting things. So, Serbia has very big support of the CSTO right now, Russia's alliance. And some stuff happens at the border of Kosovo and Serbia, and we have a little something happening. We have Serbia declaring war on Kosovo. Yes, and this just sparks the whole area of the Balkans as Albania joins the war on the side of Kosovo. So does Croatia and Slovenia and Bosnia-Herzegovina, while we have Montenegro and North Macedonia joining the side of Serbia. But there's a little problem with one of these guys, and that will be Bosnia and Herzegovina, as they have Srpska inside of them. That is a very pro-Serbian thing. They're Serbians, and they like Serbia, and they want to be a part of Serbia. So now Bosnia has just emerged in a civil war, and they are pretty much gone as their capital. The capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina is now inside of Srpska. But invasion time. So Serbia enters Kosovo pretty swiftly. Montenegro makes a little advance into Albania, and North Macedonia also makes a small advance into Albania. Actually, not pretty small. And yeah, Kosovo is just dead. And okay, yeah, like half Albania is dead. Srpska, they are very aggressive. They want to be a part of Serbia. They do this, and then Serbia enters Croatia in the north. And now we have the anti-Russian coalition alliance actually entering as peacekeepers. They enter here as they don't want the CSTO expanding more into Europe, and they enter here. They cut off here, and you know, the Slovenian and the Croatian people are actually quite happy about this. They don't really mind. They want to be a part of the anti-Russian expansion other than the CSTO. So this is how it's split up, and yeah, Bosnia is dead, Croatia is dead, Slovenia is dead, and we have Albania surrendering. So now let's look at the peace treaty of this war. Alright, so this is how the peace treaty looks like. So, very interesting peace treaty. So, Serbia annexes Kosovo, Albania, and they also unite with North Macedonia and Montenegro. They take over pretty much all of Bosnia and big part of Croatia, and they form Yugoslavia. Yeah, baby, Yugoslavia's back, baby, and they are a part of the CSTO now. And we have the remaining parts of Slovenia, well, all of Slovenia, remaining parts of Croatia, and a little small part of Bosnia, uniting and joining the anti-Russian expansion alliance. But this alliance now is pretty much the anti-CSTO alliance, but it's called Anti-Russian Expansion Alliance. Anti-expansion, whatever, you get it. But now, Russia continues doing their Russian stuff, and they do this. So, Russia annexes all these Stan countries that were a part of the CSTO. Yes, so now the CSTO is just two countries, Yugoslavia and Russia, because Russia likes to eat up other countries. But yeah, the name will remain CSTO. But now, something really interesting happens in Europe, as Turkey joins the CSTO. Yes, sir. And yeah, this kind of sparks Greece into joining the anti-Russian expansion alliance, because yeah, and let's just give all of Cyprus to Greece, why not? And we also have a new union forming, and that union is the Kalmar Union. Now we can see I removed the borders between Finland, Sweden, and Norway, but it looks kind of bad. But it will not look bad in a second, as we have a new alliance forming, which is the United States kind of trying to bring back Nato, but you know, it will not be as strong as it was really. So United States forms the Allies. The Allies, you know, very creative name. And Canada joins that. We have the United Kingdom joining it, France and Portugal, and the Kalmar Union, interestingly enough, joins that alliance too. And we also have the Netherlands joining right afterwards, Belgium, and Spain. And not to forget Germany. Alright, so now we have the Allies being completed, colored, and beautifully. I forgot to mention Luxembourg joined too, but that's not a very important factor, is it? And interestingly enough, we also have Italy deciding to join the anti-Russian expansion coalition, alliance, whatever, instead of the Allies, which is a pretty interesting choice. Also, another interesting thing happening in Europe is that Russia, CSTO, they are very good at sending agents to kind of mess up many places, and that place will be Austria. And Austria gets CSTO'd, whatever that's supposed to mean. And they kind of get into a little civil war because of that then. Very interesting, Austria being in a civil war, which is going to be CSTO members everywhere here, and bomb, boom, bomb, bomb, and you know, over here, and then they kind of just take over the whole country, and yeah, now this is pro CSTO, but they're not in the CSTO, which means the anti-Russian expansion coalition invades Austria to prevent them from joining the CSTO. Not that they would help a lot, but they still do, because they don't want CSTO right there. And Germany and the Allies decide to do the same, and they invade Austria too to prevent them from joining the CSTO. And this is how it's looking. But now let's look at the peace treaty. Alright, so this is how the peace treaty looks. Hungary and Czechoslovakia, Italy, and Germany split up Austria. But now we have stuff happening in the Middle East, as it always does. And where will it start? Well, you guessed it, Palestine and Israel. Yes, sir. So, Palestine, Israel, war. But, many of the Arabic countries do not like this. So, they will be joining on the side of Palestine. Now remember, Turkey and Russia, and they are in the CSTO, but they are not a part of this war, even though same color, not very good for this situation. But the CSTO is supplying the red team, while we have Saudi Arabia and their allies joining this war on the side of Israel. So we have Oman, UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan joining that, and we also then have Yemen joining side of Palestine, and we have Egypt joining the side of Palestine as they hate Israel. This also sparks a join of Sudan because they want to help Egypt because they would be nice to ally. But this sparks another place to join the conflict, which is Ethiopia. South Sudan also joins. Djibouti joins on the side of Ethiopia. We then have Eritrea joining the side of the red team, and we have Somalia joining the side of the red team. But Somalia does have a little internal problem, and that internal problem is Somaliland, which is right in this area. And the East African Federation also votes on joining this war on the side of the blue team, as they don't want the red team expanding into Africa. So we have the DRC, Kenya, blah blah blah. These are all these countries, and I am pretty sure that is all of the countries in the East African Federation. And if this is all not all of them, then let me know down below in the comment section. So very, very interesting war indeed. We have Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Israel, Ethiopia. You know what? I don't even have to read this up. Now, remember, Turkey and Russia, CSTO members, they're not a part of this war, but they're supplying the red team, while the blue team and the purple team are supplying the blue team. That sounds very weird. Now, let's get into this war. Alrighty then. Alright, so we have Israeli troops immediately wiping out Palestine, and we have them invading into Iraq and Syria and Lebanon. Also, they just completely bully Yemen. You know, Saudi Arabia hates Yemen. They just probably want to own all of Yemen. These guys just start absolutely destroying Somalia, as Somalia is very weak, and Somaliland enjoys this time very well, and then Somalia is dead. Also, Ethiopia starts to push into Eritrea. Well, the red team, what does the red team do about this? The red team, well, yeah, Egypt starts pushing in here. Egypt just hates Israel. They really hate Israel. We also have Sudan pushing into South Sudan. Oh yeah. And Sudan does also invade into Ethiopia. While in the north, we have Iranian troops arriving, and they are pushing back. Yeah, let's go. They are pushing back, and they enter Saudi Arabia. While Israeli troops retreat out of this everything, and they push back the Egyptians here, and yeah, the Egyptians are now dying. Egyptians, you know, they're very good at losing the Sinai Peninsula. Yeah. We also have Saudi Arabia completely wiping out Yemen, and now they start pushing back the red team here again. This kind of just goes back and forth. But we have the red team advancing further here in Africa. My voice just got messed up somehow. South Sudan just is getting rolled through, and yeah, the area in Ethiopia is very hard, so not very easy to push there, but they push back into Eritrea. We also have Egypt now being very angry, and they reclaim the Sinai Peninsula completely, push a little bit into here, and their plan is to connect up with Irani and Iraqi and, you know, all these forces. So Iran makes a very, very big counterattack over here, and they manage to connect up, and they encircle Israel. Israel is now alone, while we have Egyptian and Iranian troops advancing into Saudi Arabia. We now see East African Federation troops arriving in South Sudan and starting to push back the Sudanese army. We also see Ethiopia again pushing back into Eritrea and almost taking the whole country, and also pushing a little bit back the Sudanese forces. We have Saudi Arabia Now taking this area back again, reclaiming Kuwait and holding a little bit of Iraq, pushing a little bit into Iran, but the other side is not going very well as red troops just flood in here. Take coast, boom boom bam, and yeah, Israel is almost dead, but both sides now agree to sign for peace. So now let's look at the peace treaty. Alright, so this is how the peace treaty ends up looking like. Very interesting. So Iraq gets some land out of Saudi Arabia. Syria, they unite with Lebanon and get some land out of Jordan. Palestine just takes over all their territory that Israel had, but Egypt does take some of that territory and they get a little bit of Jordan. Egypt also takes some territory out of Saudi Arabia. We also have Sudan taking some stuff out of South Sudan. Ethiopia manages to stay untouched on their original border, but they actually do unite with Djibouti and take a big chunk out of Eritrea. Rest of Eritrea unites with Sudan. Saudi Arabia unites with Kuwait and Qatar, and they also take a big chunk out of Yemen. Oman takes the other chunk of Yemen, and East African Federation remains the same. Other than that, South Sudan and Ethiopia join, and also Somalia is now Somaliland, so let's just call it Somalia. They also join the East African Federation. These guys, they make the Gulf Shield Alliance, and I'm pretty sure that's alliance in real life. And then these guys join the CSTO. So all of the events that have taken place so far have happened because, you know, NATO doesn't exist. I mean, they kind of are reforming, but, you know, they just lost that sphere of influence, and the CSTO Russia had the opportunity to do a lot of stuff. But now Russia does just some very quick stuff as they annex Azerbaijan. So now Russia, they want to expand the CSTO even further. So they ask China, yo China, you know, you want to bring you and your allies into CSTO, and China is like, you know what? Why not? Why not join you, Russia? Like, you're doing good. Like, yeah, let's go. So China joins the CSTO, as well as North Korea. We have Pakistan joining, and we have Myanmar joining. And now Russia and China, they are going to invade Mongolia together. So Russian and Chinese troops flood into Mongolia, and Mongolia just does not, yeah, they just don't stand a chance. Like, I don't see Mongolia really being able to do anything here. There's loads of mountains here and desert and stuff, but I don't care. Alright, I don't care. And yeah, Mongolia is dead. And now let's look at the peace treaty. So this is how the peace treaty ends up looking. We have China and Russia splitting up Mongolia, but now we will have some stuff happening here as Pakistan, Iran, and Russia do a joint special operation into Afghanistan. I see no one learns to not invade this place, but these guys are serious and they will destroy Afghanistan. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's Russia, Iran, and Pakistan together. Even though the Taliban are pretty good at repelling attacks from big powers, yeah, not this time. So let's look at the peace treaty of this one. Alright, so this is how the peace treaty looks. We have Pakistan, Iran, and Russia splitting. Yeah, they split Afghanistan in three pretty much same size bets. Now we have this area being very, very concerned. Also, we have Laos and Cambodia also joining the CSTO. So this whole area, the Pacific area and Indian Ocean area, these guys form a alliance which will be called. So we have the Orange Alliance being formed, which is very anti CSTO. Shit, something with my voice. Goddamn, I'm sick or something. And we also have Sri Lanka joining the CSTO. But now let's go over to the Americas, where yeah, some interesting stuff happens with the United States. They do a special operation into Cuba, and Cuba is dead, and also Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. And then they just kind of take Bahamas, and then they just kind of do this, and now the whole Caribbean is American. Yeah, they have brought American freedom to the whole Caribbean. Let's go. I just removed the blue color. Nice. But yeah, now that the whole Caribbean is American, we have some stuff happening down south in South America. Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Suriname being, you know, definitely not like, you know, very, very corrupted because of the CSCO and kind of like doing this. And they make the, actually, no. Don't listen to me. They joined the CSDO, and this is really bad. And Brazil is scared, kind of, because now, I mean, they have the CSDO on their doorstep. So they decided to form the Rio Plata blah blah alliance, whatever. So Brazil has now formed the Rio Plata alliance, whatever. And Colombia, and Colombia decides to join this alliance, as well as Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Chile. Because they are also scared. We also have Guyana joining in, actually. This is French Guyana, and this should be on the Allies. So yeah, and they are aligned to the Allies. We also have some stuff happening in Middle America. Middle America? What? But we have Mexico doing some rather not nice stuff, as Mexico decides to kinda like invade some people. Yeah. So Mexico is this weird ass color, and we have them invading everything here. Not Panama, because Panama, you know what Panama does? They join the Allies because they want to be protected by America. But yeah, Mexico declares war on everybody here. Oh yeah, and guess just guess what? You know that the United States doesn't like this very much, because Mexico just throws a lot of people here to fight, and this happens. They take over it really quickly. But then the United States may or may not be involved in what is gonna happen now, as we have rebellions and also the cartel just kind of doing this. And yeah, Mexico, you are screwed. We also have these countries rebelling against them. Boom, bada, boom. And yeah, Mexico is getting absolutely screwed over, because now this is at the scale of a civil war. We have the insurgencies taking over all of Baja California, pretty much take over this part, and the United States may or may not also kind of want territory, as they enter as supposedly peacekeepers into Mexico and kind of work with the insurgencies. So they say to the insurgencies, but then they start killing the insurgencies, and now they've kind of made it obvious what they wanted out of this. They just want land. Yeah. I mean, it's the United States. What do you expect? They will do anything to get some land. And they also take all of Baja California. But Mexicans actually are able to somehow eliminate these insurgencies in Baja California. Did I just call that Baja California? That's nice. And start pushing back the insurgents here till they sign a peace treaty with the United States of America. Alright, so the peace treaty looks like this. Now, one thing that the United States kind of did a mistake on is they did not prevent Mexico from joining any alliance, and Mexico instantly decided to join the CSTO. But the US nonetheless got a lot of territory out of Mexico. They got all of Baja California, loads of here. Mexico did get pretty much all of the these Middle American countries. What do you call it again? Middle America? What? Middle America sounds so stupid. But yeah, they get all these countries. Panama, of course, they join the Allies. Last thing we have happening is that Australia and New Zealand, they join the Orange Alliance. I don't really know what to call them, and so does Malaysia, while Indonesia decides to join the CSTO, and they also may or may not have forced Papua New Guinea into doing that. And the last war in this video will be happening right here, and that war will be between Morocco and Morocco is supposed to be blue, but yeah, this war will be between Morocco and Algeria. Mainly Algeria does some funky stuff. They kind of got paid off by the CSTO to do some funky stuff to Morocco, and Libya is just forced to join this, and Tunisia, they get threatened to join on the side of the CSTO, but Tunisia, they stay strong and they're like, nope, F you, and they join the side of Morocco, and we have the allies joining the side of Morocco, Tunisia, and now this scenario, obviously, this is not like a full-scale war between the allies and the CSTO, because it's only Libya and Algeria in this war versus the CSTO, the allies, and Morocco and Tunisia, and the CSTO is just supporting these two countries very highly, almost like being involved in the war, because they're sending a lot of refugees and stuff like that, so they're almost involved. But these guys are quick to move into Tunisia and just completely eliminate it, and the water is still getting colored in, while they push a little bit into Morocco. They want to get as much as possible before troops of the allies arrive, and they actually managed to get a lot, as they are getting very many supplies from the CSTO. But the allies arrive, they are here, and they are pushing back. Bam, bada boom, bada beam. They are pushing very hardly back, and then this war ends very quickly as both sides agree to meet for surrender. Not surrender. Both sides agree to meet for peace. Alright, so this is how the peace treaty looks like. We have Morocco getting pretty, not much territory out of Algeria, but some territory definitely. And then we have Libya and Algeria getting a lot of territory out of Tunisia. Tunisia barely is alive. The allies managed to make Tunisia still exist in this peace treaty, because they were more powerful than just Libya and Algeria, as the CSTO was not in this war. But yeah, this is it for this video. This is part 1 to the what if NATO collapsed. And it's a pretty unrealistic scenario, but I'd say it's a pretty interesting one. The NATO is kind of recreating itself in a different way, but not as powerful, stuff like that. And a lot of stuff has then happened because of their non-existent. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and turn notifications on. Also, follow my Twitter. Link will be down below in the description. If you do those things, that is highly appreciated. And I hope you come around for part 2 of this series, as this is looking very, very interesting. But this is the way, and may the force be with you. Till then, see you next time.
Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up. You're a stupid cunt. Suck my dick.